Okay guys, now that I've taken the Blizzard apart, it's time to change these plastic bushings to bearings. I've elected to do the Boca green seal, rubber sealed bearings due to the water obviously that will be involved in this when it comes to running it in the snow. So I've got my bearings here. Just want to first of all get all the wheels off so that I can change out these first. All it is a Phillips head screw. So I'm just going to take all these off. Okay, now that I have all the wheels off, if you can see here, there is a plastic bushing in there. And these tend to wear pretty quickly. So putting the bearings in, it's going to run more efficiently. Now the trick to this that I found was, if you get the screw, put it in where the threads are and pull, you can pull them right out. And you can see right there, there's one there. There's two in each wheel. Just use the threads, pull them out. There you go. Now you can see that it's set up for a bushing. So I'm going to do all these first, and then I'll go back. Okay, now that I have all the bearings or bushings out, I can start putting the bearings in. These here are 4x8x3 bearings, pretty small. But what you want to do is, just like anything else, you just want to make sure you seat them in there right. They'll be a little tight because they were plastic in there before, so you have to really work them and get them in. But this will definitely help with the performance of your Blizzard versus the plastic, which you end up getting slop. These will keep the wheels more consistent. There's 16 bearings you need, because there's 8 wheels and 2 on each wheel. So I believe Boca is going to have a kit for this, so you can just go and do a search on their website and pick the Blizzard, the Kyosho Blizzard, and it'll have this kit that includes all the bearings to upgrade. Okay. This one here is being a little stubborn. Push it in that way. Make sure they get seated. What I'm using is the screw here just to seat them in a little bit, so that I'm not forcing it when I'm screwing it in and end up stripping the stripping where it screws in here right on this. It's better to do it this way first, and then that way you're not forcing it. Okay. I think that is it. Now you can see we now have bearings on these versus the plastic. These are the plastic ones right here. So you can definitely see that you're going to have better performance out of them. Plus, they're going to wear better on the wheels, so it's definitely worth the investment. Next thing I want to do is I want to get into the drive axle and replace those bearings and bushings. Just like any other axle, this has a diff in it, and that's what activates the turning. I'm going to upgrade that to some diff fluid in there versus some grease to try and tune that a little bit to control the steering. But while I'm in there, I'm going to change the bearings and upgrade them to the green seal. And I'm also going to be upgrading the brake pads to a new style of disc to help with performance also. But now I'm going to slowly take this thing out, and I'll show you when I get to the bearings. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a small screwdriver and pop the E-clip off. Be careful you don't lose that. And then what you do is that drive gear just slides right off, and then just take the chain, remove that, put that off to the side. One thing you got to be careful of too is when you take that gear off, there's a drive pin in there. You want to make sure you get that out and you don't lose that, because if you do, you'll have to find another one, obviously. At that point then, what you need to do, we'll take the other side off, same process. Like before, just be careful you don't lose that E-clip. Those things can go flying. While you're doing this too, you want to make sure, check if there's any wear. You may replace the gear, or if the chain looks damaged, you might want to replace that too. But at this point, mine look good, so I'm not going to worry about it. The next thing you want to do, once you get this other pin out, it's being a pain, is right near the disc there are some grub screws. You want to loosen those up, and what that'll do is allow you to pull the axle out of the axle shaft out of the axle housing, so that you can then remove the axle. What I'm trying to do here is just get the bushing out that was in that drive shaft. We're going to be placing that with a Boca green seal. Got to do the other side also. The bearing in here you want to get rid of. You just use the shaft and wiggle it, it'll come out. Right there. And here is the diff, and you can see that there are bushings in here. We're going to replace those with bearings. Here you can see in here, we've got these two bushings here, which really do nothing for the diff, so we're going to be replacing those. And got them on the other side too. Just slowly working this out, the bushing will come out. Just make sure you don't break the plastic case. this way. This one's being stubborn. There we go. So now we have these bearings to replace these ones, which are 8 by 14 by 4s, and then we have 10 of the 5 by 10 by 4s right here, which are the other size. So first thing we want to do is get these bearings back in. I'll put the spacer in, the washer, and I want to seat this bushing in there like that. And on this side I want to put one of the smaller bushings like that. Same with this. Smaller bushing in. I'm going to put the spacer in. Washer. And then the Boca bearing there. Okay. See here, you need to place these bushings, and as you can see here, these weren't even greased. So it's good that I'm tearing this apart. I'll put these two bearings in. This will make this thing run so much better. So we got that all set, ready to go. Those are ready. Get these out of the way. Okay, so I'm back. I put 120 weight diff fluid in the diff to help it from unloading so easily when you're steering. That's on a separate video that you can look up, but it's pretty straightforward. One thing I did find out when I did this was that I needed to put this together before I put it in the case. Because these have to fit in here a certain way, and they weren't being friendly trying to get it in. So what I do, just put it together like that, and then put it together and seat it in, and then it works better. Now, this was not greased at all, so I'm going to take a minute here and grease it. It's real important to have these gears greased, and I can't believe that stock they didn't have any grease whatsoever in it, unless I bought this used. Maybe someone replaced the diff and just didn't grease it. So I'm making sure I put enough grease in here to ensure that the gears aren't running metal to metal. That's not good at all. Okay. Now you want to seat this in. and make sure that the bearings lay in the area where the bearings need to go. Okay, then the same deal on this side here. This goes on like that. Make sure you put your shim in, and then make sure you put that piece on. Now it's as simple as putting it back together. What I like to do is, before I actually screw it together, I like to just test it, make sure it's running smooth. And it is. There's no play in the gears, so we're good to go. Now it's just putting the screws back in. There we go, that's back together. It's running smooth. Perfect. Okay. Get these out of here. Now I need to do is the bearings inside this here. So the best way to do that is to remove bearing from in here. You should be able to get it out. Just be careful. I don't know if you can see it in here. It's right here. Let me get that one out of there. That's important. That's running the shaft where your brake is. I'm going to take it off. I have to anyways. So instead of risking breaking it, I'm going to just remove it. I have easier access to it. There it is. And there's one in the front here that has already fallen out. So put a new bushing in. Or bearing, I mean. Goes right in there. See it there. Put one on the other side. You need to put your brakes back on. Well, having this all apart and putting the new bearings in and also the diff fluid, I decided to upgrade the brake discs also. As you guys know, the metal discs aren't very controllable. They're usually on or off. So coming to a composite type disc will definitely help control that steering so you're not pivoting as much. These here are from Avid RC, and they're a direct replacement for them. The only thing I found was there's a little lip on the edge here, if you can see it. You need to grind that down because what happens is it snags with the calipers. So just get either a hand file, you can just rub them on sandpaper if you want, or like a Dremel whiz wheel. Just be very careful that you don't cut into the actual disc. But that's the only thing you really need to do to make them work on this system. So I'm going to do that right now, and then here's one that I've already done. You can see the difference here. I've just taken that lip off, and then it'll work fine. So the last two bearings that you need are in the tranny right here. So what you want to do is just pop this E-clip off. Pull that out, very simple. You'll see these two in here. Be careful pulling them out. That one and this one. Put them in. Slide your spur shaft back in. Put your E-clip on. Likes to fight you because you're next to a motor. There you go. Now you've got a Blizzard with everything, with bearings, and they're Boca green seals, so they'll last you a long time with no maintenance, and they are the rubber sealed, so you don't have to worry about them in water situations. So hope that helps, and hope it'll make you a little more confident on changing out your bearings. Thanks a lot.